this and write this down, please. The greatest obligation of true leadership is to transfer your deposit to the next generation. That's your greatest obligation. Leadership success is measured by the success of your successor. No matter how great you may have been, if you didn't produce a successor, you are a failure. This is true of parents, preachers, and politicians. If you are a parent, my question is, are you mentoring your children? Not just parenting them, but mentoring them to preserve what you've built. Can you turn all that you've built over to your son and he will not sell it? Did you train your daughter to appreciate the value that you've built for the last 50 years? Legacy is about preserving all that you've accomplished through other people. In other words, success without a successor is failure. No matter how successful you are, if you didn't produce a successor, you failed. And Jesus knew, I have to produce successors. He spent 3.5 years training those 11 men. When he left, his work grew in his absence. Isn't it incredible that after he was gone, his organization expanded? I wonder if your ministry will die when you die. Or will it expand because you train your replacement? There should not be fight for the spoils when you die. There should be a transition. Because any leadership that only serves its generation is destined to fail. I discovered something about God. God is a generational God. Can you write that down somewhere? What did I say? Write that down. You know, when I read the Bible, I'm amazed. When God speaks to us, he is not talking to us. He's speaking to our loins. If you read the Bible carefully, God kept on speaking to people's loins. He said, to your seed after you, after your seed after you. He wasn't talking to you. He's talking to the future generations. So when God gives you an instruction, that's not for you. It's for the unborn. You become a steward of God's assignment. God is a generational God. So if your vision dies with you, you failed. Legacy is about living beyond your grave. It's about producing people who will become greater than you. You know why you're quiet? You didn't think about this stuff. And you are getting older. What are you producing? Who are you producing? Have you identified a young woman or a young man that you will spend the next 10 years pouring your life into? Will you train them into what you know and take them to meetings so they can see and be exposed to what you are exposed to? You know, Jesus was incredible. He trained his disciples at different levels. He had 12, but he had 3 different groups in that 12. He had 9, he had 3, and then he had 1. And depending on what he wanted to mentor them in, he would separate them. You remember one time he went on the Mount of Transfiguration. Only took 3. Why? He wanted to expose them to that meeting he had with Moses and Elijah. And those 3 men saw Moses and Elijah. And they saw Jesus in his full glory. And then he said, when you go down, don't tell anybody what you saw. Why? That's only for you to experience right now. He was mentoring them. One time he wanted to raise a little girl from the dead. He put everybody out and just took 3 with him. And he said, I only want you to see how to raise the dead. Who are you mentoring? A partnership meeting is really isolating you for a few days to expose you to the transfiguration, to let you be exposed to speakers that impacted his life, information that will advance you, music that will inspire you. He brought you from around the world here to isolate you on this mountain in Orlando so that he can teach you things that he learned. That's building a legacy.